Devonna Tindy from Star Trek Lower Decks. Today we honor the 50-year anniversary of the Star Trek animated series. It came out in 1973, ran for 2 seasons, and featured the actors from the original series. It paved the way for future Star Trek cartoons like Lower Decks, and we celebrate you today. You walked so that we may run.
Thank you, Devonna. Wait, what the hell does that mean? We walk and you run.
It's a compliment. I just meant that you set the stage for modern Star Trek cartoons.
Oh, we set the stage. Like we're stagehands and you're the actors? It sounds like an insult.
Well, it's just that they had less budget and technology then, so your animation was a little, stiff?
It was a stylistic choice.
To movies and toys and TV shows, comics and collecting and superheroes. There's no end to the useless stuff they know. But don't call them geeks, they're just regular Joes.
Welcome to the Regular Joe's podcast. I'm Dave Pisani.
I'm Barry Kay.
And I'm Todd Pleasant.
What's going on, everybody? Not that we tell numbers, but we're 4 away from number 500 here. And the plans...
I was going to say, you can't wait to see what we have planned for you guys for 500.
I can't wait to see what we have planned.
to see
what we have planned. So.
When will that be? That will be, well, in 4 weeks.
In 4
right?
weeks, so...
It'll be...
right around Rhode Island Comic-Con time.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what you're getting. You're getting Rhode Island Comic. We're going to have to make sure... Wait, it probably will be... We're going to have to make sure we may have to kidnap somebody.
Maybe make a sign saying, stop by and say hi for our 500th
Kidnap
episode.
me to bring me there so that I can skip out.
We should
do that.
My
totally
other
do
trip
that.
I have to go
But
on.
honestly, that's not going to be exciting for anybody. Come on, like Ming-Na, come on. She's our buddy. She should stop by.
I think we need to do that. I think we need to print up cards saying it's our 500th episode. Stop by and say hi.
I think we absolutely need to do that. This is brainstorming on the air, people.
Yes.
Like half-size things, not just like
bigger than a card, more like just like a postcard size thing.
Well, when you go to get Sharon and Doherty's autograph for me on my Mallrats poster, you can give one to her, and then she can come. You can interview
I will
Brenda.
give those out to everyone I see.
I'm telling you, we take a
That could be
picture
a
of
little
us
tricky.
in the lobby sit in the lobby talking to Jason Isaacs, okay, and then in like the upper corner,
I like that.
and then be.
Wait, no. We have a couple. We have us with Sam.
Yeah, whatever.
We have
But I'm
us
saying,
with
and
Jason Isaacs.
and then say, it's just stop in and celebrate our 500th episode, and
Saturday night at the Omni Lobby.
Yeah.
I think you guys are going to get nothing but Power Rangers this year. I have a feeling it's going to be.
Are there even that many Power Rangers?
I don't know.
There's
We've had
There's a
two
lot of
different
people.
We've already had 2 Power Rangers.
This is true. We
I
have
like that pink one.
Yeah,
Is it?
Not the pink one.
Anyway,
yeah,
just so you all out there know, it's going to be 500. It's going to be epic.
epic.
May get us thrown in jail, but it'll be epic. So, and then speaking of, we'll be at Rhode Island Comic Con. It's like the November 3rd-ish. We'll be there for the 10th year, or is this the 10th? Their 10th year.
I think it's
Or
their
was that
10th
last
year
year?
and our Anyways, we're a
Ninth.
year behind them.
Anyway,
Maybe
we'll
we
be
should
there
go
as
like
we
someday, just hang on the Omni like mid-year and try to do a recording and then say that we've been there 10 years. It's like
Exactly.
We could do that.
Well, Barry will be there virtually. Todd, you're working on that?
working on virtual Barry.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to being there in some way, shape, or form. Wish I was going to be
all we
there
need is-
in all of my form, but yeah.
If you're on some type of... If he's on some type of FaceTime on an iMac, he'll be able to hear us and... Right? But can we call through the thing? Again, sorry, people. We're just working this out
I
amongst
will
ourselves.
probably end up being on my site. I'm going to probably be on an iPad, but we'll figure it out.
No, but how do we get the recording into the into either the mixer or the Rodecaster. Todd left to do something
Todd literally
technical.
just left the table, so we'll see.
You're seeing this how the sausage is made.
I have actually been working on Virtual Berry. Okay.
Okay.
So this
He's
is
holding up a stick right now.
it's a stick with a 12-inch iPad holder on it.
Cute,
Okay.
yes.
I've been working on Virtual. I've ordered things for Virtual Berry. So.
All right, we'll figure out that, but we can call in and it'll go into the board, and we'll hear him too.
Yes. Yeah.
All right.
Well, the last thing I'll say about this, if we do it Friday night, I can do it from home with a proper setup. If we do it Saturday night, I'm at my parents' house, and I'm at the mercy of their Wi-Fi.
Do they have good Wi-Fi?
Oh, they've got Comcast, so it's probably okay.
Yeah, anyway. All right, well, we'll see. Okay, anyway, lots of stuff to come. Go to Rhode Island. Tons of good guests. We'll all be there in one form or another. So will I believe the alternate Joes or the auxiliary Joes will be there as well. Brian and Daryl will be there, as far as I know. Anyway, today we're going to talk about a bunch of stuff, but let's go some random. Todd, what do you got?
Okay. Hang on just a second. So, in January, Masters of the Air, the World War II aerial drama that Tom Hanks and Steven Spielberg have been producing, will be out. They released the first few photos from it. Looks really good. I am really hoping this is Band of Brothers for the Army Air
Not
Corps.
the Pacific.
Not the Pacific. But
The Pacific was okay,
it was
nothing
okay. It
compared
just
to
wasn't Band
Brothers.
of Brothers. But this just looks so good, and it could be. It's such a great story. It's the 8th Army Air Corps. Incredible stories there, and this. I think they got lightning in a bottle once. I think they could do it again. This is Apple, so you know they're spending a crap load of money.
Oh, it's on Apple, not
on Apple.
HBO anymore.
Yeah.
And this has the advantage of aerial dogfighting, which you know.
So most of this has got to be already in the
it's
can. I'm
Principally
guessing.
bomber campaign, but with a lot of with bomber fighter support, and but it's super tense. Basically, it's going to be great. And there've been a lot of movies, some good movies about the air bombing campaign, but this is this could be fantastic. So my uncle, as I've talked about many times, flew fighter support, and this should be good. I'm psyched.
Yeah,
So,
No, I'm looking forward to it. I've been
You haven't
waiting.
seen Band of Brothers. It is the best thing ever made for television.
It really is. It is the best thing. It is. Yeah, I will say.
And I'm talking about even better than Star Trek.
Honestly, it's the best limited run series ever made for television, and I would probably say it was the best war series ever. War based thing ever made for television. It's absolutely brilliant.
I don't know. You guys haven't seen Star Wars Resistance. That was pretty amazing. So.
Okay, I will say I will have to pass reserve judgment until I see that, but I'm not expecting to change my opinion.
Barry, what do you got?
Oh.
We'll come back. We'll circle back.
Yeah. No, I was
Finish
actually
it-
going to say
finish
something
your
on
thought.
Band of Brothers. I was going to
Finish
finish.
your
Okay,
thought.
say something
Finish your
about
thought.
Band of Brothers.
So, I think I told you guys this once. I started watching this with Evan, and he went home and he finished watching all of it. And he wrote me an email after that and basically thanked me for having him watch that, because he never would have watched it otherwise. And one of the things he said was that his generation, my generation, we have no idea what sacrifice is. And this, it's just this is my grandfather's generation. This is my essentially my grandfather's generation, but in between that and my father's generation. And it's like, these people saved the world. These people rose. We complain when the internet's slow. Okay, and this is a couple generations removed from us, and just an extraordinary thing. And this captures that sacrifice and that commitment better than almost anything you can do in that amount of time. So that's my thought.
For sure.
Yep.
Sure. Barry, you better have something good to follow.
I was going to say, how the hell do I follow that with what I'm about
Up-tempo
to...
tune.
Yep.
Death dedication.
Yeah, I know. This is right out of Casey Kasem's playbook. But all right, I'm completely changing gears. So Master Replicas is back as a company name. If
That's
not,
a good way of putting it. That's a really good way of putting
if
it.
not,
They still have that golf club and HAL 2000.
they
or
don't.
whatever?
But they're basically releasing the ships that Hero Collector used to release
jeez.
now. So what was the name of that company again?
Eagle
Moss.
I will never.
Eagle
speak
Moss.
their
The Eagle
name.
Moss.
I will never speak their name.
But here's what I thought was interesting. I got an email from them today, starting 4 p.m. October 10th, so that's tomorrow. They're going to be releasing a couple of what they're calling their signature series items, which I thought was kind of cool. They have the DS9 XL, the bigger Deep Space Nine with a plaque that's signed by Nana Visitor, limited to 500 pieces. They have the gold Enterprise, which I personally don't really like the gold-plated Enterprise, but signed by Shatner, limited to 250 pieces. And then they've got, which I'm actually the most interested in, the Enterprise D, signed by Andrew Probert, who's the guy who designed
yes.
the Enterprise D.
That's
And
kind of cool.
That one is limited to 500 pieces, but that one is the least expensive one. So the Deep Space Nine is $140, not unreasonable considering
That's
it
not
comes
bad
with
at
a
all.
signed plaque. The Shatner is $379, but the the Enterprise D is only $110. So
I
with
would
a
actually.
signed plaque.
I think I would be interested in that.
Yeah,
And those are what?
the XL. So they're the bigger ships.
That's just a cool. I mean, I have that, but as an XL. But I think that's by Andy Probert. That would be great.
Yeah, so I just thought it was worth mentioning just because people hear Master Replicas and I think they think of the lightsaber replicas and all the stuff that came out 20 years ago, but they've resurrected the company. They sell the Eagle Moss stuff now.
Well, they bought out everything that was warehoused.
It's so crazy how one defunct company
all
buys
of
out
these
another
things.
defunct
Well,
company.
that's the thing, though. They had tons and tons of stuff in the pipeline. There's been things they've released that I have bought a couple things.
Well, these guys are releasing the unreleased Eagle Moss stuff.
Exactly.
As
And
well
then
as
also,
going
but-
back and rerunning some
Right.
of the more popular Eagle Moss items.
Yep, and also releasing at like nothing for. I actually bought the original series Orion ship for like $9.
Yeah.
And because I think, yeah, so which completed everything they made from the original series for me. But yeah, no, it's interesting. Boy, a lot of emails from them though. It's crazy. I get like 4 a week because I actually bought
Yeah,
something.
they send a lot of emails, which a lot of times
I'm not on their list. That's
when
interesting.
companies do that, I unsubscribe. But a company like this, every now and then you get an email like this where you're like, oh, wait a minute, for $110 to get, because I don't have that ship in that scale.
Yeah.
I don't have any of the XLs, and I don't even display any of the ships that I do have. But I like the idea of the plaque signed by the designer of the ship.
That is really cool.
That's kind of cool.
That is cool. And
So the regular size gold Enterprise is $63.
But is that the XL? Oh, that's the regular size.
No, it's regular size. I'm just popping on their website. Oh, here it is.
So these go. I mean, by the time this show drops, these are already on sale. I don't know if they're sold out. I would imagine some of them might be, some of them won't be. 500 pieces is a lot, so
Yeah,
Anyway,
Oh,
I just thought I'd throw that out there.
that's cool. I'd keep that on my.
and is the Deep
radar.
Space Nine, the large Deep Space Nine, like a regular Deep Space Nine, or is it gold or something?
No, it's just the regular Deep Space Nine.
Okay.
Is it the regular one that's like that big? That was like one of the first things that you got.
but I
No,
don't
it's big.
know.
Then it's like 9 inches because mine's like 5.5 or 6.
Yeah, that's the one I
And
have.
That's the one I have too. I have the smaller
I
one.
might actually be interested in that at that price too because that'd be. I've thought about buying
$140
that.
isn't bad when you consider if you went to a show and wanted to get her autograph. It'd be
Be
$40.
$60.
It'd be $60.
Yeah.
They all charge $60.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So
So
It should have been Avery Brooks, but he's not signing anything.
no, he's not signing anything.
cool.
Interesting. Cool. I don't want to call this a rant, but you know me. I don't do rants. No, I was in a Target this weekend. Not that I go to Targets ever, but we were killing time. And I don't get what Lego was doing. I mean,
They're doing everything.
everything is like a prop. Like I saw a Captain America shield. They're making you're putting a bunch of flat pieces together to make a Captain America shield. I just feel like that is so far removed from what I think of as Lego. I don't know what you guys feel about that.
Well, I've seen a bunch of their newest things in the store.
This was in the store.
They've got like a Nintendo that made of Lego that comes with a TV that's got Lego Super Mario in it, and they've got a typewriter. Like it just they've licensed everything. Like
and these things are not cheap. There's Boba Fett helmets and there's lightsabers. Like, do you really want a Lego lightsaber? Like,
my
there's
son's
so many
girlfriend was visiting us this weekend,
lightsabers.
and she bought him a Lego Fender Stratocaster with an amp. And it's not full size, obviously. It's scaled way down, but I mean, there's Lego everything. Which we had Lego Star Wars for so long that I guess we just got spoiled. But I guess there's Lego for whatever you're into. There's Lego now.
But like the cap shield I don't think it's full size.
I don't.
So
get
it's
that.
a scaled down cap shield. It's $240, and it's like the Lego cap shield. I just don't get it. I mean, and then they had the X-wing, like the new X-wing. I'm like, for that amount of money and the amount of time you're going to build a model.
If you spend countless hours playing Minecraft, you see the whole world looking like that anyways. Oh, yeah. So that's the only explanation. That's the only explanation I can come up with.
I will say this: have you seen the new Indiana Jones Lego set with the 3 scenes from Raiders? I saw that and I was almost tempted to buy it. It was so cool. It has the boulder chasing Indy, and it's got the idol room. It's got a bunch of different little scenes.
But they're trying to sell things because of licenses and fit them into their thing. Like, and then you build the thing and it sits there. It's like I've had an issue with, everything is a set. There's no here's a ton of bricks. Build something. Have a little imagination.
But that ended when the patent expired.
Forever.
I mean, they basically. Anybody can make Legos now, so their game is licenses.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. The cap shield was that is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. It just makes no sense. Anyway, that's my thing. Anyone else have more random?
I was just going to say that in case you were concerned, the Fantastic Four director says the movie will be unlike anything you've ever seen before.
Yeah, I read that. There's so many quotes from... Patrick Stewart is saying a lot of things because they're quoting his book.
Yeah, and that's but I'm saying this is actually... I mean, he actually, made a statement, but it was it was an interview with Collider, but they're still not doing... it's we spent a ton of time in pre-production and we're working on the effects and all this kind of stuff. But this movie is coming out in a year and 2 months, and you're in 3 months.
No, it's not. Wait. Now that the strikes are ending, wait until they reschedule.
I know. I'm telling
everything.
you right now. It says this is coming out in February 14th of 2025.
I don't believe it.
That's what I'm saying. It's
Valentine's Day set for that.
You're gonna put this movie out 16 months from now. I just no.
Well, they've also said that they're now at the point where they're just waiting for all the dust to settle on the strike so they can announce casting. It sounds like all of this has been done. They've just been waiting. But
yeah, maybe. I don't know.
That's what I'd say too.
That's one of the few things I'm actually interested in because
me too. I just it just baffles me. Again, I've said this 15 times. How much time they have spent talking about this without ever actually saying anything.
Well, I texted you guys over the weekend. Did you see the new commercial that they've been airing for the Marvels?
Yeah.
The tone of it is like a very dramatic, serious, dark movie. I'm like, you can't lead with the trailers they led with that make it look goofy and then all of a sudden spin a new version where it's
and have your director out there saying this is fun like nothing we've ever seen before.
Maybe. I'm hoping, again, me, I'm optimistic. I'm hoping that...
How does he say this with a straight face, Barry?
Ride the line between some fun stuff and like Guardians 3.
Yeah.
Like if you could ride the line the way they did or even come close to that, fine, I'm all in. Be serious and have some comedy. That's the way to do these movies.
And
it's not easy though.
In proportion to each other.
It is just weird though that they I guess maybe it's impossible to put all of that into a single trailer and make it seem serious but also fun. So they just go to the polar opposites. They do two different commercials. If you went
back and you took Iron Man, you could cut trailers for that movie. You could cut 3 different trailers for that movie, and you could present that as 3 completely different films. So hopefully that's it. There's enough happening here.
I hope something hits, because the last couple have been...
I agree.
Not good. Speaking of not good, this is not a commercial yet. I don't know, Barry, I'm surprised you didn't read this. There's a rumor that Emilia Clarke's Super Skrull character could be involved in a new project that would have her leading a band of British superheroes. And then the world ends right after that, because that would be the worst possible thing ever.
British superheroes. I know. I've seen a lot of team-ups, but I didn't know that they were doing it by nationality now.
That was the worst character we've seen in a very long time.
It was a nuanced performance.
I don't know if she had a better Nick Fury scene than Nick Fury ever had.
The Rock is playing her left arm, and then she's playing the rest of her body. So stupid.
That might have been slightly better had the effects worked better, but
it was just awful. Awful. You know who's not awful? Fanboy Collectibles. Not awful at all.
And works better.
Kind of the opposite. Yeah, the opposite of not awful. Opposite. They're awesome.
Hot Toys Endgame Scarlet Witch. Like, Endgames hasn't been out for a while. That figure does look good, though. So that's out there. That's a different Scarlet Witch in her sort of typical
I have that
Avengers.
Basically, I have that Scarlet Witch, but she's got a very kind of placid face, whereas this has got the kind of bring it on look. And, she's very tentative, I would say, on mine. And this is very cool.
And I know you guys aren't big on display bases, but that display base she comes with is
it's a deluxe figure, so there's a lot of cool stuff.
This is very cool.
I'm thinking about that. Young Barry from The Flash. I guess this is the second Flash item coming out.
This is the one where he took Batman's suit. And
the Batman's. We were talking about it. We wish they made a character.
There was a Supergirl. What else? Wasn't there another
Wasn't there a regular Barry from
That's what I'm saying. And there's Batman. So this is the 4th.
Oh, Batman. Yeah.
This is actually a 4th.
Anyway.
Yeah, you're right.
That one looks good. Hot Toys and Sideshow and Kotobukias and Pops and did I say Sideshow? I don't know. Hasbro. There's all kinds of stuff. Everything you need. I keep saying it. It's, how many shopping days there are left of Christmas? Less than you think. I don't know what the number is, but there's less than you think. So put them on your list.
On you. Get a list together.
Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, Christmas, Festivus, some other holiday that I don't know anything about. Put them on your list. Because most of you people listening aren't going to go shop for someone else there. You can shop for yourself. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
No, but if you make a list, I say this every year, make a list, give it to your loved ones, you'd be surprised. You might actually get something.
It has worked out for me, Barry. It's good advice.
Yes, so do that. So check those guys out, fanboycollectibles.com. Check them out at their store in Newtown, Connecticut. Tell them the Regular Joe sent you.
Dave, before you go forward, now that we're out of the commercial, I have a question for you guys.
Okay.
They previewed an Indiana Jones figure from Dial of Destiny, Hot Toys Indiana Jones figure. It never went up for pre-order. Do you think we're ever going to see that figure? I'm curious. Right? They showed us the deluxe version. He had the big display base and everything.
Indy.
I don't know. Everything gets delayed a little. Who knows?
But that movie came and went months ago.
So did Black.
Endgame hasn't been out in seven years or whatever.
I know, but Marvel is an ongoing juggernaut of releases of figures. I'm just wondering if we're ever going to... That movie, for all intents and purposes, failed. To 9 months later put out a figure from it?
Well, think about this.
Maybe they pulled it because it didn't do as well at the box office.
Scarlet Witch just came out from
WandaVision.
Well, thank you. Total block. WandaVision. They're about halfway through the cycle on the Scarlet Witch from Multiverse of Madness. Okay? So that's about halfway through the pre-order cycle. and now there's another one in that pipeline.
But my point there, though, is those all went up for pre-order around the times that those properties were
No,
on
I'm saying,
the
but
air.
Endgame hasn't. Endgame.
No,
didn't.
Endgame.
That's why
I
I'm
give you
saying.
the Endgame thing.
I'm
but
suspecting that these are based on the reception to the previous figures. Okay, and they're like, oh, there's interest in this. I just
don't know though. Like, what's the point of releasing a Dial? At that point, go back and do a Raiders indie because people will care. The Dial of
are
Destiny
you
indie.
committed? And that's the other thing, though. Like when they made that prototype, were they committed to the license? I mean,
I don't know. I wouldn't think that they would have shown. It wasn't like it was at a convention and somebody snapped a picture of it in a maybe we'll make this case.
Yeah.
They put pictures of a product out, and then they never took pre-orders on it.
I feel like indie fans, and there's not as many as our Star Wars fans would still buy it. I mean, they're coming out with a ton of pops and all kinds of stuff, and a ton of the Black Series things.
Well, but that stuff's the cycle on that's
It's less
ending.
expensive.
And it's also the cycle on that is kind of ending.
Yeah.
Like they just
Yeah.
announced
I
a
don't
know.
know.
Bunch of new stuff for next year, and there's no indie stuff coming from Hasbro.
You never know.
But I don't know. It hit me the other day. I'm like, that figure never went up for pre-order.
Don't know. Let's talk Ahsoka. There will be spoilers if you haven't seen the finale.
So we haven't talked about it probably since the halfway point, right?
I think
Probably.
yeah, 3 in.
I mean, we did know. We talked. Then we talk about when Anakin came out.
Oh yeah, so
right?
that was episode.
It slowed
6.
down a little bit after that, but still good.
Yeah, I mean, now that it's over, what was your overall sense of it?
I liked it. I thought it was. It's definitely. I would definitely put it on the good scale. I enjoyed it. There were some episodes that were slow. Honestly, unless she was fighting, she was the least interesting character. To me, I like her fighting, but her talking character was kind of weak. I don't think she had any of the energy she had, even in the little bit I saw of her in the Clone Wars.
Well, she came around once she came out of the World Between Worlds, and I think her character was more like the Ahsoka that we were expecting. But
for a little
yes.
while, and then even in the finale, she
but
was
it
a little
seemed like it never
flat.
really got fully there. I'm with you on that. It was better.
And I don't know, is that her unnuanced performance? Is it the way it was written? I mean, Sabine, interesting. Even what's his face, Ezra, interesting. Certainly, not certainly, but Hera, interesting. Especially when she took those stupid goggles off and then put them back on. But I liked it overall. I mean, I think you could. What was it? 6 episodes? I think you could tighten this thing up. There was some slow. It was slow
8,
at
right?
points.
It was 8.
Was it 8?
Yeah.
Should have been 6. What do you guys think?
You want to go, Tar, or you want me to go?
Yeah, go ahead, Barry.
I liked it, but I felt like, overall it was really good, but not great. And I know I said when we talked about it the last time that I personally felt like it relied too much on people having seen Rebels. I think by the end of it, I really feel like if you hadn't seen Rebels, there was a whole chunk of things that you just didn't know what was going on, especially the ending with Baylan Skull and the statues of the father and the daughter and the son. Like, that stuff is like real super deep Rebels mythology with the Mortis and all this stuff.
Did you need to know that, though?
Well,
I didn't know any of that thing.
It felt like they were setting you. I mean, obviously, we don't know what's going to happen now, especially with that actor that passed away. But like, it certainly felt like they left it in a place where that was going to be a big story that they're jumping off to, either another season, which they haven't actually announced yet,
right?
Or maybe in the movie or something. But like, that was a really big thing to leave us on, where at least half the audience watching this had no idea what that was.
All right, let me ask you this question.
More than half the audience.
He was in Rebels, this guy?
Nope.
No.
Ray Stevenson?
The statues that he was standing on at the end are characters that were in a pretty pivotal story arc in Rebels.
Because of someone who didn't know anything about that, it seemed like you didn't know why he didn't go with Thrawn, then you didn't know what he was doing, and then you saw him at the end. It's like, I don't understand anything of what this guy's doing.
Right. That's my point, though. I don't think most people did. Unless you
Even,
really
okay, you knew that. Do you have any idea what they're doing with this guy?
Yeah. Kinda.
Todd?
I mean, a speculation, not
Yeah.
definitive, but...
But there was he should have either gotten killed, gone with Thrawn, or something, because he was just... This ended as if
Season 2 was a lock.
is coming out in 6 months.
Right.
Yeah.
100%.
I agree. And that's why I say there are some really, really good moments in this. And I think there's some very, very good stuff in this. I think the whole is not as good as some of its parts. I was really pleased by the Anakin stuff. I thought that was done well and handled very, very well. I love the young Ahsoka, the flashback thing. I really like how they treated the Rebels characters. I actually came out of this thinking, boy, I might have liked a live-action Rebels update more than I like this. She never quite got out of her own way, and I love that character. This incarnation just feels like she's in a box, and
She's very flat.
and
I don't know if that's the actress or the writing.
But
Probably both.
There are two very sort of conceptual... That's the wrong word. Two concepts that are brought out in the Rebels series. I could see them if they brought one of them into this. Like, either bring in the World Between Worlds or the Mortis thing. But they literally are bringing in both of them. In an 8-episode series where we don't even know if they're ever going to continue. It just... I don't know. It just felt like...
so
I would have rather they spent that time on elements of the story that they didn't really... there was so much like fill in the blanks on your own stuff in this.
From not knowing too much Rebels, I kind of got they were coming to find their friend. That's fine. They found him. There's bad guys. The people, really, the Ray Stevenson guy and Thrawn, honestly, is like, what the hell are these guys doing?
Well,
So
and
this
then,
is
then
where
you've
I
got
think-
the other girl in there too, the Shin Hati character.
She was a little more in your face and questioning what she was doing.
I liked her, but
wait, you mean the Debbie Harry Joan of Arc mashup?
Yeah,
Yes.
she made more sense because you saw more. You know what she was doing. She was a minion of,
But even she didn't know what her thing was, because when all of a sudden it was like, oh, wait a minute, we're not doing this anymore.
and her master just cut her loose with no explanation.
That's what I'm
of
saying.
Why
That guy-
I fully
that
expected
character-
her to join up with them, because whatever.
Right. So instead, she joined up with the mercenaries living on the planet, which
Yeah.
Honestly, they could totally have done without that Ray Stevenson character. He brought nothing to the table. Other
Again,
than the
I
one fight with
expected-
I
Ahsoka.
really
expected
liked
it-
his character.
Oh, I did
but
too. I expected
don't
a
understand-
decisive battle, between them, him. I thought he existed so that Ahsoka could have somebody to fight, and, and maybe there'd be some other revelation, like he was, there was some other connection to Anakin, or
I felt there was something.
I thought like maybe Anakin had passed over him as a Padawan or something like that. There was something, I don't know, whatever. But
I thought he was going to join them, and it was sort of like a mole for the good guys or something. I don't know.
well, or just change teams because
Yeah.
Now, this is the entree for Thrawn for Mandalorian, or for
Well, that's the question.
It's all unclear.
because there's people.
It's all unclear where Thrawn shows up next. Is there a season 2 of Ahsoka? We don't know. Is there Mando that he's going to come up in? We don't know.
I think we see him. They clearly link that this is in sync with Mando time wise.
Oh, timeline wise, yeah, but
And so I think
there's
I
a
think
Dave
this is-
Filoni
I
movie
think this
coming
is the
too,
handoff
that This could be
to-
the
right.
storyline for the
That's
Dave
what
Filoni
everyone
movie.
I
thinks, but
think they
that movie's-
sidelined Ahsoka and Sabine so they could hand this off to Mando, and then they're either going to do the movie and have them come back and resolve this thing. But I think he's going to be the hopefully a more effectual bad guy in the next. I think this was just This was.
I hope they do that because there's never been a show that had more loose threads than this.
Yeah.
You didn't know what Ray was doing. Ray Stevenson guy's doing. Ahsoka and Sabine stuck on a planet, stuck in another galaxy. Thrawn's heading to the regular galaxy. You don't know what he's up to.
He's there.
You got the blonde girl. You don't know what she's doing.
Yeah, Thrawn's back in the regular galaxy.
Thrawn's there because if Ezra escaped in a shuttle, that means the ship is back.
Oh yeah, he's there. I'm saying, but like,
he just
what are they all
at
doing?
The Night Sister homeworld place, wherever that.
Yep.
What's in those boxes?
A bunch of dead Night Sisters that they're going to resurrect, and they're going to create an army
so?
of Night Sisters. That's what I think.
And how is that different than an army of So I thought the troopers were zombies to begin with. Okay, that's what I thought all along that the troopers
I think
were
that
zombies.
those troopers. My personal feeling on that is that those troopers were already. They had already been killed and resurrected multiple times, and that's
So why
they,
did their eyes glow green when they were zombies? Does that
No,
go away
I don't
after
think
a couple
the
hours?
guys. I don't think they were resurrected until the finale.
I think
so
too.
They were alive,
but I
before
thought
that.
they were zombie troopers before then, and then it was like not. And then the other thing too was like the reaction to their being, to like they're coming back to life. It's like, how does that really matter? You just shot them once again and they fell down. It was just
But
they were
got
no more.
up.
They were no more effectual. You just got to kill them twice.
But they
Josh,
got up
did
even
you
after you
catch
shot
in
them.
the credits who was playing the trooper with the gold face? It's
It was,
Amos from The Expanse.
Yeah.
Oh really? Oh, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, I had heard that a couple episodes previous, and you could sort of get it out of his voice.
Kind of got it out of his voice, yeah. So here's my biggest problem with the Thrawn storyline, where it goes next. If Thrawn is now going to be the big threat to the known galaxy, right? You can't have Mando be the guy that fights him.
Luke,
Leia,
Luke's
and
gotta be
Han
the
are all
guy.
still in play in the heroes of the rebellion.
this is
How do
what
you
the
not
problem
bring
is.
them in?
So now they're off. Oh no, we see C-3PO as a surrogate. So then I guess we could see R2 as a surrogate for Luke, and
This won't work with surrogates.
No, it's not.
if
No,
he's
I
really
know
the
that.
big
This
bad.
is what I'm saying. But the thing is, it's a big galaxy far, far away. So not everybody runs into Luke, Leia, and Han.
No, they wouldn't run into them.
but
They know
what's going
If a
on.
major threat to the entire security of the newly formed republic is at stake, they wouldn't just sit on the sidelines.
Well, how about this? How about whatever is going to happen is such a big deal that it's never mentioned 30 years later in the sequels. It's like.
But it wouldn't need to be if
No,
they
I'm just saying. So they got
squash it.
to.
If they defend- if
This
they
can't. But
defeated
I'm
it.
saying this can't be a long, drawn out thing, because they never talked about the second coming of the Empire. Okay, unless God help them, he doesn't come back and say, "Yes, we're going to start the First Order."
Well, I think he's all part of Palpatine's plan, so I don't think he's coming back to rule by himself. I think so.
He's very unimpressive, other than what's in those boxes, because he's like this blue dude with a bit of a stomach. Like, he's not scary.
I got to say,
He's way more impressive literally in the cartoon.
In the cartoon.
Than he is.
I read the Heir
I
to the
feel
Empire
like
books.
on that planet he's been hitting the buffet too much because he should be slimmer.
He used to wear those little furry animals who
Yeah,
made
they're
them
not in it.
resistant
They're not-
to the Force.
They kind of didn't have them in Rebels either. They kind of ditched that concept from the book.
I'd forgotten about
But
that.
so there's all these threads. The thing is, and I know there's the Filoni. The Filoni movie is what, a minimum of 3 years away.
I would say
Right?
so. Yeah.
So you're going to tie. It's either has to be Mando, and if it's not, it either has to be Mando, it has to be Ahsoka season 2, and then the thing. But I mean, unfortunately,
that makes sense to me. But just the fact that they haven't announced a season 2, and maybe it's because of all the strikes that they felt like they couldn't announce it, but it ends on such a cliffhanger.
There's
multiple
also
cliffhangers.
a possibility of a Bo-Katan series.
But in this day and age, the unfortunate thing is, with streaming, you could get away with a year between the next thing. I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like it's too long, but
Well, the Skeleton Crew show is also in this same timeline and is supposed to tie into this, but
Oh, okay. So that's the next thing. So
interesting.
and that's the next thing we're going to see.
so then yeah.
Maybe that has something to do with it. I got to say, like, Heir to the Empire and all those books, it was all Luke in. Like, how was Luke not involved in this?
Well, that's my point. I mean, I get that he didn't have to be involved up till this point, but if you bring it back to the known galaxy, to have a major threat like Thrawn, who maybe he isn't going to be a major threat, but he seems like that's where they're going. How does Luke not get now?
Well,
look, they've
okay,
brought
so-
Luke back, so maybe
But
they will bring
based
Luke
on
back.
what we're seeing of the New Republic, there's going to be a whole lot of people don't even believe he's back. Okay.
Once he shows up and they see his blue face, they'll know.
Meanwhile, he's got his crappy Imperial starfighter that's all broken apart. Whatever's in those boxes better be great, because he's not impressive otherwise.
So let me ask you this: Do we want them to bring Luke back the way they brought him back for Mando season 2? Because maybe
Here's the thing that sticks in my head about that. After that whole thing, Mark Hamill said, I'm paraphrasing, like, it was great to do it, but if they ever brought Luke back, it should be played by another actor. I wonder if that was a setup for doing that.
I guess we'll see. I don't know how accepting people are going to be.
I'd like to see
I'll tell
Luke
you,
come in
if
at the end
he's-
like he did in Mando and just sort of save the day.
But they've done that a couple times. If he's alive and he's willing to hand it off to someone, say Sebastian Stan, to someone else
That'd be pretty awesome.
who takes it forward and you know what? I'll tell you, he would go for that. Hamill would go for that. Seeing Luke again as a viable character, okay, at the peak of his powers, that would not be a tough sell for Hamill. He would love that.
I think Hamill might be okay with it. I think that they're still gun shy from Alden Ehrenreich playing Han Solo.
But it's a different kind of thing when. I think it's a different kind of thing entirely.
Harrison Ford was fully endorsing Alden Ehrenreich until the movie flopped.
Yeah.
So I don't want to sound overly negative. I enjoyed the show. I thought it looked amazing. Like, it really looked cinematic, more so than the other series have. I think way more cinematic to me than Obi-Wan looked. I just am disappointed that there was. Obi-Wan felt Obi-Wan was shot during COVID on the volume. This felt like it was had more cinematic elements to it.
I really thought the last panel or whatever would be Ahsoka will return.
Yeah, kind of.
If that
felt the same
said
thing.
that, I felt better about it because it was so set up for.
And
all
I get
of
that. I mean, Ray Stevens' character. I really enjoyed his characterization of that character, but they can recast him. So I don't feel like
they have to recast.
I don't feel like the fact that the actor died kills off.
Look at Smeagol. He passed away, and then the other guy played him.
So
Smeagol.
Gandalf.
I was going to say Smeagol. Smeagol was played by one guy, but I don't know. I mean, I really enjoyed it. I really liked seeing those characters. I don't
It was
understand
good.
why
It was better
Zeb
than-
wasn't there at the end. He should have been.
It was better. What did we watch before that? It was better than that freaking Skrull show. That's for sure.
Oh, hell
no,
yeah.
you can't even compare that.
Way better than that.
So
I mean,
I didn't dislike it. I just wanted it to be better.
I enjoyed it. Pam fell asleep like 3 times.
So did
tonight.
Maria.
There were some slow episodes.
Barry, what'd you think of Ezra?
You know what? At first, I didn't really like the look, but the further they got into it, he started doing and saying things that were very Ezra-like, and then
I think they did a great job.
Yeah.
I really do. I think it. That's what I said. I think that even Hera ultimately, when she got past being just appearing like an action figure, was good. I think Sabine Wren was great.
She was probably the
great.
best character in the whole show.
And I'll tell you, as conflicted as she was and as bad decision making she was, it was who that character is. Okay? She was never one who did what was clearly the right thing. She had a lot of the end justifies the means thing and tripped up a lot too.
Did she jump into the Force way too... Like, hey, I got my lightsaber, now I'm going to throw you across the Grand Canyon. That was a little much.
That was a little much. And the other thing that I just had a really hard time reconciling with story-wise, I agree with you that is who her character was, but I still don't believe she would have risked the entire galaxy over one person. I just don't think she would have done it. Getting Ezra back shouldn't have been more important than allowing Thrawn to come back.
Right, but think about this. They're leaving anyways, right? They're going to get there one way or another. Don't you think?
They would have got there with or without her. Well, I think she destroyed the map.
She had the ability to destroy the map, and they wouldn't have gotten there.
Then there wouldn't have been a story. So you got to
I know, but
take that with a grain of salt.
I just have a hard time believing that.
And I don't know
any
much
sane
about...
person would risk the entire galaxy over one
Captain
person.
Kirk would.
Well, yeah.
Or Mr. Spock or somebody. Yeah. Captain Kirk would.
They were lower. The stakes weren't as high. And anything Kirk did.
Yeah.
But not knowing a ton about Ezra, I liked how, it wasn't like, I don't know how to use the Force. Like, okay, he was fully forced out, which was good.
Yes.
Yeah, no, it was good. It really was.
He had a lot of time to practice. I think it was very good. I don't think it was, like I said, I think there were individual bits in it that were much better than the series as a whole. And I never feel like her character lived up to potential.
Well, and here's the other thing. The series peaked in the middle with Anakin. Yeah. It needed something big at the end, and it didn't have it. Because it really felt like it went up, and then it hit that peak with Anakin, and then it kind of...
It was big in the fighting, and there was action, and they killed that, Mordor, or whatever her name was. That was good.
Yeah. I like the...
You were left with too much like, what's he doing? What's she doing? Where are they going? Where's that guy? Yeah. It was too much.
That whole speech that the Night Mothers did while they were doing whatever they did to Morgan Elsbeth, yep. That was literally word for word the same thing that they said to Asajj Ventress.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I liked that they were consistent with things
and
like that.
And they also name dropped her one time, too.
Yeah, they did. Actually, Anakin
Anakin did. So,
I hope we get a season 2.
I hope so, too.
Need a season 2.
And I don't, but I really think it's going to be mop up after either Skeleton Crew or after Mando. I think somebody else takes the next page in this story, next chapter in this story.
Wait this long.
And then we get back to how they get there and either save the day or are part of the big come together endgame thing where, he's defeated.
Well, that could be in the movie, and maybe they save the new Luke for the movie or something.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
But we can't wait for that movie. There's got to be stuff going on.
Yeah, if we don't see Thrawn again until either 2 years from now in a second season or 3 or 4 years from now in a movie, it's going to be kind of like, what did you set all this up for?
They said there were Skeleton Crew photos released.
Yeah.
There's so many people who make up their own stuff.
Yeah.
It's so hard to...
Yep.
Here's a picture of him with...
Thrawn, I will say, it may have seemed like the tactician, but he didn't convey the menace that I just always felt that the different incarnations of Thrawn conveyed. And he was always supposed to be the smartest guy in the room, but there was also this kind of like, I don't know. I just it didn't click for me. I think.
Well, and I mean, I tend to not do this, but if you really start peeling this apart, there's a lot of holes in all of this. So,
yeah. Oh no, there's no question of that. No question of that.
And I tend to just try to enjoy it on the surface.
How do we feel that for the first time, someone who never knew someone has seen their Force ghost? Right?
Wait, say that again?
Who else? Who saw?
Sabine saw
Anakin?
Well, she didn't really. She thought she felt something, but she didn't actually see him.
I don't think she saw him at all.
Remember, she was kind of looking off into the distance, and she thought she felt something, but she didn't actually see him.
I could see you feeling something.
Okay.
But that was a little drawn out. Like, what the hell is going on? And then, Anakin shows up, but...
Well, and is Anakin showing up just because it's a nice bookend, or there's he's potentially tied into all that Mortis stuff too, which could be setting up stuff in season 2, but without knowing what the hell they're doing, it's
That's
hard.
a little complicated.
That is. I just, like I said, I think that I did like that stuff. I did. And I think that's the stuff that tied it into the different series really, really well. I think their relationship is very, very difficult.
Well, and keep in mind, we're getting Skeleton Crew next, and I think it's the Acolyte after that. And they still haven't actually announced another season of Mando or Ahsoka. They've not officially announced another season of Mando.
This strike has really screwed everybody up.
And the Acolyte takes place, 150 years in the past, so that's not going to tie into any of this.
Make season 2 of Ahsoka.
I think they're going to I think we're going to see a bunch of things that tie in. I think it's going to be like, here's this, and this is going to mean something later, and here's this.
Maybe it'll tie into some of the Mortis stuff.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking that's where we're going to get.
No one's going to care about that. That she's dead and gone, and no one's going to think about her twice. I'm sorry.
No, not Morgan.
We're talking about something else.
Mortis is...
Who's Mortis?
Mortis is a place that...
Oh. But no one knows what that is.
Well, everybody that watched Rebels and Clone Wars does, but you don't.
Well, was that one of the big themes in it?
Yes. Well, it
was
a small
recurring.
arc with very large implications.
Whatever. All right.
It goes back to like Origins of the Force kind of stuff, Dave. So
blah, blah,
it's
blah.
Well, I'm just saying it's a big theme, which is weird that they would bring it in the last 10 seconds of a season of Ahsoka with no sense that it's ever going to pay off.
So one last thing. Did you have the feeling throughout this that this was more Filoni-esque than all the other stuff? I really feel like this was far more like...
He wrote all of this.
No, that's
he
what
wrote
I'm saying,
it and he
but I'm
directed
saying,
some of it.
But he still was, working in conjunction with other people. And I felt like this, almost everything here could have been animated. I mean...
No, this
that's
was
part
100%.
Of the problem.
This was 100% Filoni. The problem is, that goes back to what I said all along. I feel like it relies too much on you having seen all of that previous stuff.
And I don't know that that's true. I just feel like tonally, it was more like that than anything else we've seen.
But I like Dave, and
Me too.
I'm glad he's involved, but he's not great with live action. Like Ahsoka should have been way more dynamic. She was like a freaking cartoon character, not a cartoon. She was flat.
I'm my take on it is he wanted her to have been disillusioned and lost, and in that episode with Anakin, showed her that she needs to get back on a path. And once she came out of that, I do feel like her character changed.
And changed to lighter colors in case you missed. Yeah,
I thought she was the same kind of, not much to her.
No, she smiled and she laughed,
and she took her Padawan back on, which she had basically walked away from all of that. But again,
I feel
they
like
don't
she
tell
could
us
have been more
until the
dynamic.
midway point of the 8th episode why she walked away from Sabine. And I would have liked that information earlier in the series, but I don't know.
We did learn that you can completely frag a Jedi shuttle and with very minimal effort get it flying again.
Just connect a couple wires back and you're back in the air.
Yeah. Get the turtle people to help you.
You know who I actually did really like was the robot.
Hermit crabs.
I thought the robot was great.
Oh, he was great. And I tell you, the risk there is you've got another picky, finicky robot with a British voice, and
he seemed different enough.
He was different enough. They did a good enough job with that.
As much as R2 and 3PO were sort of the lens we were supposed to be looking at the entire, series through, this robot's got history that goes back 10,000 years, unlike, R2, who only goes back 30 years. So I really like the potential that they could do with that robot and that character.
I would say the Ezra interaction with him was so perfectly Ezra that it was,
Well, and I just liked that while they were working, he had those extra arms coming off his back that would grab. I mean, the characterization, the visualization of that robot were excellent. I will buy a Hot Toys of that if they make it.
I think this. I was just going to say, I ordered Sabine. I already have a Ahsoka. I think I would be a sucker for that. I think I would.
All right, from Star Wars to Star Trek quickly. So there's these very short Treks animated things. Are they only on YouTube?
I haven't seen them on Paramount Plus. I know they're
Which
for
is
sure
odd.
They're on YouTube, but so they're in celebration of the 50th anniversary of the Star Trek animated series that came out in the early 70s. And they're like the name implies, they're only like 3 or 4 minutes long. I think the longest one is like 4 minutes. But
yep.
I expected a lot out of Ahsoka, and I was a little disappointed. I had no expectation of this, and I loved these so much.
So, I will say, as someone who has a disproportionate amount of love for the animated series, this is freaking brilliant. I mean, they make fun of it when they should make fun of it. But when they weave the characters in, and it's just from the animated series, it's perfect. And then the animated versions of the Next Generation characters and that kind of stuff, just great.
Well, and if Lower Decks gets a little crazy sometimes, this goes so much farther.
Oh my God, it's off the rails.
It works because they're only 3-minute clips. Like they're
right.
You couldn't take a whole episode of this, but it works in 3.5 minutes.
Some of them, they were all sort of one joke, and that's fine. But like, I loved the one where, cats skin a cat, and they're like, skin a cat. And everything.
Yep.
But like, and I would have been fine if all these crazy beings showed up, at the mention of things like dumbass and all that. But I didn't get where it went after that. What was with the girl with the glasses and stuff? Did you guys get what that was all about? So it's like skin a cat, and then the cat lady Emrys gets upset, and then something about fish, and then the fish gets upset, and then the girl with your panties in a bunch.
Yeah.
But then they go to like Kirk, or if that was Kirk, I don't know. And there's some girl that he's in love with the blonde hair and glasses. Who was she?
I gotta go back and rewatch that one.
Back and rewatch that too.
Because it was funny. It was like, oh my God, it's funny. It's funny. Then they went off on this tangent that I didn't understand.
That one did. That was. I honestly think that was one of the weaker ones.
I thought it was funny if it was a 2-minute one and it ended with all these people, the screwball guy. And
it's like, and then it's just like, how long have you people been on the bridge? It's like, why have I never noticed?
That was all
any
great,
people?
and then it just went off for another minute.
I did find it interesting that they drew Kirk differently there, and they had a different actor playing Kirk, and so
it didn't really look like Kirk at all. I wonder if it was trying to be ambiguous.
It's that was unusual. I almost feel like they should have used like Paul Wesley and drawn him looking more like that in the cartoon style. Something like that would have been, it would have a little continuity too. I freaking love the holiday party thing.
The holiday party one with Spock trying to be humorous.
Trying
was
to
hilarious.
be humorous and having no understanding of humor was just his
And I just loved when he talked about how how she had broken his heart, and he has like the little tear running down his face.
He said, "Wait a minute." It's like she has left me for many other men.
Yeah, it's just so good.
It was just like, oh,
the
God.
holodeck one was funny. Again, one joke, but it's like program.
The great thing with the holodeck one, though, is how they ended Enterprise was the ultimate insult to Enterprise. Okay, that whole thing with the stuffing Riker and Troy in there.
Troy, yeah,
was terrible. And so then they did this, and they kind of revisited that right down to the final lines, and then just kept going further and kept invalidating that by invalidating that by invalidating, and I thought that was great. Even the interesting thing in there was that it was the only reference to Prodigy. There was actually Prodigy.
There was a quick Prodigy reference in there. The First Contact one was, just ridiculous.
That was gross. That was just gross. I don't get it though. What if there's people you don't want to meet?
I mean, it's got to happen.
They glue their noses on them. Like, it was just so out there. It was hilarious.
Yeah, it's like,
that would have been like if the Vulcans came.
Oh God.
Vulcans
God.
came down during the Trump administration, they would have just left.
Totally.
Yep.
And then the final one,
Walk, don't run.
It was just ridiculous and fun, but I just loved the Scotty impersonation. It was perfect.
It was so good.
It was
Was that his son?
They don't have the credits for this. I got to look that up because it was Chris Duan. It was because he does a really good job.
Yeah.
But it was so dead on to the sound of his voice in the
just
cartoon.
The indignation and the fact that she pointed, giant eyeballs. She said, "My eyeballs are not giant, and at least I have white in my eyes."
Yeah, I know. That was funny.
You just have flesh with dots painted.
She's just trying to compliment them, and they're just everything she's saying. They're taking the wrong way. The standing on the shoulders of giants. Oh, so you're saying we're fat?
It was so good, but I love that she pointed out the fact that they didn't have whites in their eyes. It was just like,
yeah.
It was great.
And did you notice when they showed the Next Generation people, their badges were all off to the
just
side?
just like that's what I'm saying. It was
perfect.
Those kind of details are perfect. The badges were askew. And Sulu comes in with Sulu, and obviously they got
look
George
at my
Takei.
abs.
Yeah. Yeah, look at my abs.
I don't know. There's only 5 of these things out there. You dedicate the 15 minutes it'll take to watch these.
Oh my God!
Go
Yes.
watch them. They're so funny.
If you can't love Lower Decks, this is probably not going to do it for you. But it's there's so much fun. They're so much fun.
I even like in the opening bit of it, they had added the warble to the sound, just like the old cartoons had. It was like it's pathetic and it's beautiful in its patheticness. I don't know any other way to say it. I love these. They're great.
Yep.
I hope they do more of these down the line. 'Cause these were great.
Yeah. Did you know how many there were supposed to be?
I don't know. I think there's only 5.
I looked up; it said 5.
Oh, that's too bad. Because we're at 5. They're all great in their own bizarre ways.
And the final one ends in a song, which, if you stick around to the end of our show, we'll tack it on because it was just
That's great.
ridiculous.
So check them out. They're on. Just search "Very Short Treks" on YouTube. That's, as far as I know, that's the only place.
That's
they
the
are.
easiest way to get them. Yeah.
Exactly. All right, let's go. What's in the box?
Show you in the box. Who's in the box? What's in the box? What's in the box?
Regular Joe's What's in the Box.
Barry, what's in the box?
It's been a little while since I got a new Hot Toy figure. And in this case, I just opened one today, and it's not a figure, it's 3 figures. So, in one box. I'm going to start with the littlest guy.
Oh.
This is a little BD-72 droid. He's started out in a video game, but he's been in Mando. He's working at Pelimoto's shop. So you see him there. Next is a pit droid.
Yep.
That's funny.
A very highly posable pit droid. It's great, actually, how much articulation he has. And then the star of the show is R5-D4.
Oh, nice.
So this is a 3-pack of droids that I had ordered, God, feels like a year and a half ago. But really good job on the weathering on R5. I mean, a little surprised he doesn't have like opening panels and things. He does come with a couple of little tools, but you have to stick them all in his head because he doesn't have any like front panels that open like R2 does. But really, I mean,
how's his? Is there a burn mark for his bad motivator?
There isn't exactly
oil.
like there should be. Yeah, so the weathering definitely
They cleaned
doesn't-
him up for resale.
Weathering, but he's weathered like crazy, but he doesn't screen match to that spot that should be on the back. Although I guess maybe that is it.
I think
I'm
that might
assuming
be
that's it. Yeah.
But I don't know, it looks like mud more than a burn mark, quite honestly, but I think that's what that's meant to be. But yeah, 3-pack of droids from Mando. They're all really cool. And it's something different, which I like. It's not just another Jedi or another Sith.
Nice.
Dave, what's in the box?
Okay, we may have mentioned this on the show, but there's a guy who... there's a place called Earl Hayes Press, and if you look it up, Adam Savage has got a couple of videos there on Tested. They are a company that makes every paper good in every TV and movie
Ever.
ever created, all the way back before Casablanca.
And still operating.
Still operating. Any newspaper, the tickets from Casablanca, or whatever the thing is from Casablanca, newspaper, cigarettes, Ghostbusters signs, Back to the Future. They made everything.
The Perrier labels on Spaceballs cans of air, they made them.
Yeah, exactly. And so there's a guy who is cataloging their whole place because they still have all this stuff, either examples of everything they've made, and they have all the printing blocks of everything that they ever had. So it's just this. There's a show called on YouTube called Props to History, and this guy is doing all this stuff, cataloging the place. And so amongst some of the stuff they found was the original blocks that made the Blade Runner ID that Rick Deckard carried. You see it in a couple of scenes, and so it was basically made out of three different printing blocks, and so this guy showed Adam Savage how they made it on the same machine they made it on, and they has all the same stuff, and then he made a number for sale, and I bought one of those. So this is This is like the exact printed the same way. Literally, the corners cut on the same machine they cut, because this place has had all this stuff since the 40s, let alone the 80s. And this red is this translucent sticky material that is the same roll they used when they made these. They have everything.
I mean,
so
can you even call that a replica at that point? It's made from
I
all
know.
the exact pieces they used to make.
It's made the same with all the same things on the same printing press, on the same card stock,
with the
exact same way.
Lot of materials. I mean, it's like that's crazy.
Yeah. It's the print. So I had to have one, and I know the guy mentioned he may put them up for sale, and I kept on following on Instagram, and all of a sudden he released them for sale. As of this recording, there are still some for sale. I was like number 60, so I don't know how many they made, but I thought this was awesome. It wasn't cheap, but it wasn't expensive.
I think that's why they're still available. Is it is an expensive item, but if you're into that, it's how you can't get any closer to the real thing.
There's not a replica, I think, that's any closer to something.
And that's and that's the great thing about it is like you can go to a show and the people sell all the buttons and stuff like that have cheapo laminated ones, but this is that's like a piece of history. That's cool.
And it comes with a certificate of authenticity. It was really well packed. The funny thing is, I open up the box and I see this. It's a sticker. I'm like, geez, is that what I'm getting? And it's not. They made a sticker, and this is Earl Hayes, and they put his name in this.
Oh, that's cool.
This is literally something they printed there, because they can print and do anything. Sure. So this is printed on like super high quality vinyl with like this amazing printing quality, and they just threw that in. They threw another sticker in, and but it's awesome. So go to Props to History on Instagram, and there's links to Earl Hayes selling these if they're still for sale. But I thought it was awesome. I'm working out some kind of display to put it up so you can see this, because you can see the back too. There's the back. It's got
that's really cool.
Yeah, and he's got other stuff. You know what? And I wish I had thought about when I ordered this. They are also selling like the Morley cigarettes. Yeah. They made, from the X-Files made them famous, but Morley cigarettes have been in movies and TV for years and years. I think it's like $15 or $20. You could buy one, like the hard box, and literally cut it out and make a box. I've been meaning to buy one of those too, because that would be cool. Not that I condone smoking, but anyway. So that was fun to get. Todd, what do you got?
Okay, so this is also a Hot Toys figure. I just opened this. I got this a little while ago. This is Yelena Belova, okay, from Black Widow.
From Black Widow.
So it's either my first Yelena Belova figure or my 10th Black Widow figure, because she's now technically Black Widow, or being billed that way. Really good job on the sculpt and everything. It's a Hot Toys figure. It's great. She's got this little shock stick that I broke one of the little diodes off as I was taking it out of the package. About actually 5 different versions of this stick thing. And then a pistol and a bunch of throwing knives. They did a nice job with it. It's pretty cool. And
Did I see the back of her head? Like, I didn't know what her hair is. So it's all like...
It's good, the braids, and it looks good.
Braided
They
up
did
in there.
a nice job. And the very useful vest is good.
The vest.
All the little straps on the vest, this was impressive. All the little straps on the vest have little wires in them, and it closes with magnets. So...
Oh, that's cool.
You can see it closes with magnets, but if you want to have it open, the little vests have little wires so that you can have them, look open or look closed. It's just it's a, like I said, well done figure. It's Hot Toys, and I like the character, and she is Black Widow going forward. So, anyways,
Maybe she'll be in the thing led by Amelia Clark.
could
Is
be
she British?
She's
not British.
Not
though.
British.
Not British though. So,
Oh well, what are you gonna do?
so
Cool.
anyways.
That's in the box. Okay, so next week we will probably talk about the Greg Jean auction.
Yeah,
that is
because it's
happening
happening
this weekend.
It's happening this weekend. So by the next time we record,
It will be something else. If you know anything about it, look it up. Heritage Auctions. Don't bid on anything. Leave that to us. We'll bid on stuff. And
maybe
report
we'll
back
come to
you
you with stories of something that we won, or maybe we'll come to you with stories of
just
everything that we
stories
lost.
of woe. But it will be interesting. Check that out. That's on Heritage Auctions, not sponsored. HA.com is what they are, but check that out. So we'll talk about that next week. And thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.
Hit it, Scotty.
It doesn't matter if you're OG or new, or if your skin is magenta or blue.
Or green.
You call yourself Ferengi or Klingon.
Klingon.
Life's a party to bring on. A party, let your love spread like it's discovery. Help your addict friends with their recovery. 'Cause if you wanna live long and prosper, you gotta put love on your duty roster. Space is indifferent and cold. It's up to us to love and to live bold. Live bold. Live bold. Oh my, oh my, oh my.
It doesn't matter your species, if you're old generation or new, love is the answer.
So what are you doing here, Commander Riker? Jazz practice?
Actually, we're more post-mainframe acid Cardassian 10 forward core.